Good morning, everybody. How is it going? What day is it today? Sunday? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. GFS 100 to Josue. I'll have to take a look at that camera. Pastor Brian, what's up, man? With option answers. Let's see, GFS 100. Let's take a look at it. Pedro, thank you for the rose, Pedro. Appreciate it. A GFX or a GFS? Yeah, I knew what the GFX was. If that's the camera that you're looking for, man, you should get it. Good morning, coming from church here. It's 3 p.m. in Zimbabwe. Okay, cool. R50 takes decent pictures. Yeah, R50V takes nice pictures. It's not primarily a photo camera, though. It's more of a video camera, but it takes great photos. Yeah, for sure. What's up, YouTube? Good morning. Good morning. 8 a.m. Got a chance to sleep in today. What camera, Josue, what camera do you have right now, bro? A GFX is a pretty serious machine. Should I get a Canon EF 100 400L? Ooh, with a cheaper camera, or a 100 300L USM with slightly more expensive camera? I guess it really depends on how much are they? And what camera are you using? I'm thinking about getting a Canon 90D for sports pictures and video. Do you think it's a good cam? I think it's an okay cam. It's slightly more. My last camera was the A7R. Yeah, so you want those like big ass megapixels. Yeah. The GFX, that sounds right up your alley, bro. That's like way up there, you know. I would do it. If it's in your budget, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like looking at this camera, like it's gonna give you what you want, dude. What and if you're already used to like a massive megapixel, this one has 102 megapixels, bro. Yeah, it's gonna give you what you want, man. I can't imagine what the file sizes of this son of a bitch are, though. You know what I mean? Used on eBay for I don't know if I'd, unless it's from a reputable reseller, I don't know if I'd be buying from eBay. Do I think the R7 is amazing? I think the R7 is good. Hell yeah. Yeah, I use, bro, one of my favorite cameras is the R5 Mark II because it has 45 megapixels, and I love high megapixel cameras. Like, they are so good, dude. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow, guys. Also, if you are hanging out over on TikTok and you'd like to see long form content from me, consider following me over on YouTube. I'm really trying to grow that account up to 4,000 subscribers, and I'm this close. I'm this close, so I could really use your help to get there. If you don't know how to get to my YouTube channel, all you got to do is on TikTok, if you hit my profile page, just hit my profile page, and there's a link in the bio right here, beacons. There'll be a little YouTube logo. Just hit that, and then you land right on my page. Also, all of the gear that I use is in that similar link. You just hit the Amazon button, and then you get to see all of the gear that I currently own and use to make live streams, to make YouTube videos, to make all that stuff. So any help that I could get would be really appreciated. Hello, I got a question. Sony or Canon? Depends on what you like. Depends on what you like. That's like Apple or Samsung, you know? I think I will get a 7D Mark II with a Canon 100-400. Do it, bro. What DSLR would you recommend for sports? What are you thinking, Shiv? What's on your what are you thinking of? Give me a couple camera options that you already kind of are considering. I'm thinking of getting an A7C II. Nice. For my first travel camera. That's great, dude. The A7C II is sick. I like that camera a lot. Hello, I have a A7R III for photo. It's an upgrade. I don't want to say it's an upgrade. Yeah, I don't really want to say it's an upgrade. Depends on really what you're doing. You know, the A7R series and the A7 series are a little different. A little different. Mr. Black Evolutions, is the R50V still worth it knowing the ZVE10 has 4K 120? I think the 4K 120 has a crop though. No, I mean the R50V is $600, bro. The 4K 120 on the ZVE10 it has like I'm certain that it has a crop. It did get 4K 60 recently. The ZVE10 Mark II did get 4K 60 recently. I have a unused, perfectly functioning Canon lens, but it has fungus. Can I still sell it? I don't know. Try it. Is the Canon R5 Mark II better than the Sony A1? No, it is not. The A1 is a top tier camera. What lens range would you say is good for shooting sports? 70 to 200 at a minimum. At a minimum. Is the Sony A7 IV the best hybrid in its budget? No, the A7 V is. The A7 V and the R6 Mark III, the A7 IV and the R6 Mark II, they're both pretty equal. How's Lumix? I like the Lumix. They have one that's called the S1R2, which is really nice. It's nowhere near 100 megapixels though, but Lumix is pretty cool. The newer Lumixes, the Lumix S1R, I think. Mm. 47 megapixels for this one. Yeah. Dan, thank you for the follow. Is GFX good for videos? I don't know, man. I mean, 100 megapixels on videos for those, like probably, but that is going to be like crazy. A medium format sensor for video, like you need to have a beefy machine that can handle that. You know what I mean? That isn't a camera that you can just plug in to, like, you know, that you're gonna go through like storage like crazy, dude. 100 megapixel and then video on that. Oh wait, does it even do video? I don't even think it does video, dude. Or does it? No, it should do video. I was thinking of a Hasselblad. My bad. Hasselblads I don't think do video. What's the light you're using the key right now? The light that I'm using, this is window right here. This is window. Actually, let me show you guys. This is my current setup. I need to put products on this. That's what I need to do. So this is my current setup right here. This is my office that I'm in right now. So this is the chair that I'm sitting in right now. And then I have, in the morning time, I have light coming out through this window. This light's turned off. This light is turned on. I guess this could be my key light right here. And it looks kind of like this. It's not much though. It's giving me a little bit of fill right here. Directional light. And then I have a backlight way back there, like a background light. And the lights that I'm using, guys, everything can be found on my link in bio. Let's see, where do I have my lights? YouTube setup, I think. YouTube setup. And the light that I'm using in this room is this one. I got a big modifier on it though. I have an A6000. Should I upgrade to a 67 or wait for the 60? I think you asked that earlier. I don't think the 69 is coming out this year. I don't think it might come out next year either. It might, but I'm hearing rumors of the Osmo Pocket 4. What features would make it worth it over the 3? A bigger sensor. A larger sensor would be enough for me. I'm buying it regardless of what it is. But I think it'll have like a slightly larger sensor, and that would be sufficient for me to buy it. What is the camera and lens you're using right now? On TikTok, I'm using a... I actually have it all laid out right now. On TikTok, I'm using a Sony ZV-E10 II. And then on YouTube, I'm using a R50. This camera right here. And they look kind of like this. So this right here is a Sony with a 23mm Sirui. And this is a Canon with a 23mm Sigma. And they are right here. Again, everything that I own, guys, is right in my link in bio. The way to get to my link in bio, you just hit my profile page. And then the first link right here, there's a little Amazon button. Just hit that. And that'll take you right to all of the cameras, all of the lenses, all of the bags, all of the accessories that I use. I'm using the ZV-E10 II, this camera right here for TikTok right now. This went up in price, $1,200. Oh, and I'm also using, I don't know if this is on. I also have a top-down camera here. Yeah, I also got this one. And this one is for like recording top-down shots and stuff and showing products. My most recommended camera, though, is probably this guy right here, the R50V. Is the Canon 70D still decent in 22? It's all right. It's all right, Dan. Shiv, what up, Shiv? I'm thinking of 1DX 5D Mark II. A 1DX, a 5D Mark II, or a 90D because I also want videos. And I have a 70D. Why do you want such old cameras? Canon R10, good for recording without gimbal. I need second camera for my cafe and event shots. R10 doesn't have IBIS if you're looking for IBIS chill time. And the R10 also doesn't shoot C-Log. But if you don't do C-Log, if you don't color grade. What's your first cam? Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow. I'm about to buy a Sony A7 IV and a 28-70 Sigma lens. Good for you, Burra. Good for you. Okay, YouTube. I see you, YouTube.
Hello?
Good morning, YouTube. What's going on over there? Is the crop still worth it for the ZVE 10-2 4K 120, 4K 60? And is 120? It depends on what you're shooting, bro. 120 is nice to have if you know how to if you're using it. Okay, Twitch and Kick, one viewer. All right. Hello, everybody on TikTok. Say hello to Twitch and Kick. What range lens do I need for aviation air show 7D? You need a 70 to 200 or 100 to 500. Is the Canon 70D? I already answered that, Dan. Yeah, Dan, you gotta quit spamming, Dan. If you spam again, Dan, I'm blocking you, bro. And I said it's Dees. Yeah, thank you, MK. Appreciate that. Yes, because it's a Nikon, Mr. Black Evolutions. Nikon's a Nikon. All the mirrorless ones are way more expensive, so I kind of want a DSLR. Yeah, it's worth the money though. It's worth to save up, bro. You know, one thing that you guys got to remember, you know, is that cameras improve. How do I want to say this? You don't need to buy everything all at once. You know, all of the cameras that I own, and I own a lot of them. It took me like 6-7 years to like save up and buy all of these cameras that I use for my work, you know, for my full-time job. That's why I have so many cameras. But right now I'm on literally this month and probably next month, I'm on a rice and beans diet. Rice and beans, maybe a tortilla, rice and bean burrito. Because I'm saving up money so that I can buy my next camera. Anyways, I say all that to say, like, you don't need to purchase everything all at once. And taking a little bit longer to save up money to buy something that's actually going to last you for a lot longer in your career, that's going to potentially earn you income, is definitely worth it. It's an investment, not necessarily an expense, right? So thinking of like buying something right now because I need to have something right now and you don't have the money is only going to be a bad decision and a waste of time. It's a waste of money and it's a waste of time in my opinion. Unless you're just being like doing this as like a hobby. Then it doesn't fucking matter what you get, right? Just use your cell phone or buy the cheapest thing that you can find, use it, and then be happy with it. But you don't need to buy everything all at once. Nikon is that bad? Even the ZR? No, Nikon isn't bad at all. No, the ZR is great. The new cameras, the new Z cameras, are nice, dude. What do you think of the Viltrox? I didn't know they made a 13mm for big family photo. Yeah, for big family photos, Hannah, you definitely need something wide for sure. So anything under like 16mm is really nice. What can I do to make photos look more cinematic? Edit, Harry Drew. I was doing some editing last night. Yeah, I was doing some editing last night. If you guys want to participate in my live editing sessions, make sure that you are following or subscribed over to my YouTube channel. I've been doing them at nighttime lately, and we got through halfway of a photo edit last night. So, and some of those photos came out nice, dude. Yeah, some of those photos came out nice. I found an alleyway that had some cherry blossoms in it, and the pictures came out pretty decent. Yeah, pretty decent. Maybe I should export them. Nah, we'll wait for later. Any cam recommendations for the Lumix G7? Depends on what you're doing, Dee do that's. How are you feeling about the ZF? The ZF? I don't know. Is Canon 100 or 400 L USM good for air shows, aviation? Yeah. Is it it's the L series? Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. You need at least a 100 to 400, 100 300, 100 400, 100 500. And the L series is nice, dude. Yeah, the L series is nice. Also, you guys, I am multi-streaming to TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. So wherever you guys like to hang out, feel free to follow those accounts. Currently multi-streaming to all of those, and just trying to figure out where the audience is. So far, there's one audience member on Kick. Yep, one. And then 2 on Twitch. Hello, Twitch. Do I have a hello thing? No, I don't. I have an ooh. I got a wow. For work, I'm upgrading from a 64 to a 67. Is it a good upgrade? Yeah, hell yeah. Or is there a better camera for 1.5K? Does it cost 1.5? The 67? Really? I thought it was cheaper than that. Sony A6700. Wow. That's expensive, dude. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, that's kind of an expensive camera. I'm not gonna lie. At this point, like if I'm buying this camera, this has the same sensor as the FX30. Depending on what I'm doing, I'd probably just go for the FX30, not even gonna lie. Yeah, it's only $500 more. I'd be looking at this one for real, for real. The 67 is not 15, but my budget is 15. No, I thought it was 15. Did I look at it wrong? Yeah, 15, 16. It's a little over. I'm photo mainly only. Got it. I mean, I would probably look at the R. I mean, it's not a Sony. It's the R7. The R7 is a better camera, in my opinion, than the Sony for a similar price. The R7 Mark II is getting a refresh though, and I think it's gonna kick fucking Sony's ass. Like, it's gonna be pretty impressive. It might be a little bit more expensive though. Burra Bees, if you keep spamming, dude, I'm gonna block you. Yeah, if you send that message one more time, I'm blocking you. I don't mind if it's another brand. I just need a good upgrade. Yeah, I would probably look at the Canon R7, dude. Check out the Canon R7. Here's exactly what I do, guys. So I go to B&H Photo, just like this. I type in the Sony A6700, and then I hit this little add to compare feature, and then I type in Canon R7. Then I add this to the compare feature, and then I look at them side by side. So both of these cameras, the R7 costs a little bit less. It's actually on $100 off. This is going to get a refresh this year though, the R7, so it'll be more expensive than this. And actually this one will drop in price, but you can look at them side by side. So this has 26 megapixels here. This one has 32 megapixels. This one has, both of them have IBIS, which is great. Both of them have mechanical shutters, electronic shutters. One thing that this one has that the other one doesn't, that the Canon has, is that it has 2 SD cards. Also, this one has 30 FPS, and this one has 11. So this one is a lot better for like fast moving subjects and like burst mode and shit like that. Both of them have 10-bit, 8 and 10-bit codecs, 422. So, but here's the problem with the Canon. The Canon doesn't have as many lens options natively because it only has Canon and Sigma lenses, but you can buy a $100-$200 adapter, and then you get the EF mount. And the EF mount is like really, really versatile. Thanks for the suggestion. I'll look it over. No problem, Ed. Appreciate you hanging out, man. Yo, is a phone a great camera for starters? Hell yeah, dude. Use it. Ed, thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow. Trust me, 67 is better. It is not. It is not chill time. You drank the Sony juice, bro. What camera and lens are you using right now? On TikTok, I'm using a what is it? It's a Sony ZV-E10 II. On YouTube, I'm using a Canon R50. What do you think of the Canon R100? The Canon R100 is the worst camera that Canon has ever made. No, and Sony's typically more expensive, dude. Sony across the board, like apples to apples, Sony's always more expensive. The only thing that they have going for themselves is that they have the open lens mount, but because they have an open lens mount, their camera bodies and their gear is more expensive. And that's because the lens mount is open. Is used Canon 100 400 for 450 a good deal? I don't know. How much does it cost usually? It sounds pretty inexpensive, not gonna lie. Yeah, it's almost sounds too good to be true. Because that lens right here, if it's this one, it retails for about 1,000 used. Yeah. I would make sure that it works properly. Where are you buying it from? What you think of Canon R50? I love the Canon R50. Chill time. Thanks, bro. Yeah, you're welcome, bro. No welcome. You're no problem. Yeah, people that consistently say that Sony's better is just not true. It's really, truthfully, if I'm being honest, it's like Apple versus Samsung. It's like people have their preferences and people have their this or that, their biases, but in reality, they're all like pretty similar and they just serve a different audience. But one thing that is undeniable is that Sony cameras, if you pair them next to Canon cameras, Sony cameras are always more expensive, and it's not always because they're better. They're just more expensive. Which would you recommend for Sony 61? I want to use it as a family camera. Oh, cool. You should get something like the 18 to 50 from Sigma. I have it right here somewhere. The 18 to 50 from Sigma or the 10 to 18 from Sigma. You can get this lens right here. This one is really nice. Sigma 18 to 50 f2.8. Or you can get the 10 to 18. If you want something that's going to be a little bit more versatile, I would probably get the 18 to 50, but the 10 to 18 is really nice as well. Canon RF is quite expensive. The lenses are expensive, but if you're buying crop sensors, they're much cheaper. But again, you can buy a adapter that's $150, and then you have everything in the EF mount. And Canon glass is significantly better too. You know, just because lenses are cheaper and Sony has more options doesn't mean that those lenses are better. It just means that they're cheaper. So oftentimes when people say that they have a small budget, I tell them just to go with Sony because they're going to have a better time looking for Sony lenses because they're more affordable. Especially for people that are on a budget. Sony A7 III for hell yeah, Emmett. Fuck yeah, dude. Thoughts on the Sony A6000 and Sony ZV-E10? Depends on what you're using it for. If you're going for photo, I'd probably get the A6000 or the ZV-E, or video, I get the ZV-E10. Ed, another question. What's your question, Ed? Is the 18 to 105 millimeter f good for lens for the 67? That sounds like I don't think I know that lens off the top of my head. What benefits would that lens have compared to my kit lens that's the 18 to 50? It's a constant aperture, and a constant aperture lens is significantly better than any kit lens with a variable aperture. F4, 18 to 104. That doesn't sound right. 18 to 105 F4 doesn't sound like a real lens. I'd have to look it up. Just waiting for it to come down. Do you think it's worth to buy a Fujifilm budget 300 euros, or should I look for a different brand? Which Fujifilm did you find for 300 bucks? If you want a Fujifilm, you should buy a Fujifilm. Any reason you have a Sony ZV-E10 for TikTok and a Canon? No, not really. I just wanted to switch it up. Oh, the reason, actually, I do have a reason. I have only one 23mm lens for Canon that I really like. It's an f1.4 from Sigma. And then I have one from Sony. So I don't have two Canon 23mm lenses, but I do have a 23mm on the Sony. And I wanted to keep the look to be similar. So I have two 23mm lenses on right now, which actually, now that I'm looking at the angle, this is a 23mm. This one is a little bit closer, maybe like 2-3 inches closer. And then that one is a little bit further back. But that's essentially why. Hey, we got a Kick follow. Hey, homie. I can share your stream in a Kick community to help you hit 1,000 followers. Really? 800 viewers per stream? No way. Thank you, Dav Pep Pacey. Recommendation for someone who's still learning both photography and videography. What's your budget, Bansum? 6 viewers on YouTube. Woohoo! All right, we're getting there, guys. Do you have Fuji? I do have a Fuji. Yep. Excuse me. Yeah, the 75 to 300 is pretty buns, dude. Yeah, it's pretty buns. Sushant, I'd probably buy the A7 IV for sure. Is a Viltrox 135mm f1.8 lab good to upgrade? Yeah. Yes, it is. You don't need the lens to start charging money though, but the Viltrox 135 sounds pretty intense. At an f1.8, dude, that's crazy. What kind of Fuji do you have? 80K USD. I have the which one do I have the Fujifilm X106. It's a pretty nice little camera. Yeah, Fuji, I use this camera strictly for photos though. I don't really use it for anything else. Fuji X106. I waited 9 months for that camera to come out, by the way. Is the Canon 70D? Dan, is that you again, Dan? Did you already ask this question? I think you already asked that question, bro. Asked and answered, says the attorney. I'm not an attorney. Dan asked about 100 times. He did, didn't he? Sorry, I didn't hear your response. Yeah, Dan, you ask one more time, Dan, and I'm fucking blocking you, bro. Asked and answered, Dan. Everybody's getting tired of your shit, Dan. What camera are you using? Lil Bebecito. I'm using on TikTok, I'm using a Sony ZV-E10 II, and on TikTok, I'm using a Canon R50. Did you get a loan to start your tech career? I did not. Don't go into debt for cameras, you guys. Zero Connections, what up, man? Is there any name or alias you'd like to be called, or just cool, jump straight to the question? You can call me TMV. TMV is fine. TMV or Vic. My name is Vic, but TMV is fine. For some reason, I can't change my username on TikTok. It's like Take My Victure. but I shortened it to TMV. So you guys can call me TMV if you'd like. Or Vic is fine because that's my name. Hi, I'm doing garment modeling. Cool. Photography. Nice. And I'm planning to upgrade my camera and lenses. Could you please suggest which camera body and lenses I should go for to get more professional results? What do you currently have? And what is garment modeling? Like fashion modeling? Like is the modeling on a mannequin or is it on a person? EV10 or R50? I think the R50 has a better focus than the EV10-1. I have no experience with photography. Should I start learning with a Nikon Z30 or Z50? Either would be pretty good. I would buy the best camera the best camera you can afford for sure. TMV, what up? What's up, y'all? And I do horse racing. Cool. That's pretty cool, Sean. Vic or TMV? Cool. Yeah. TMV is fine. Vic is cool too. Zero connection. If you guys are chilling, by the way, over on YouTube and you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. Also, if you're on TikTok, if you could do me a solid and check out my YouTube channel to subscribe to. I'm really trying to get to 4,000 subs by the end of March. And I think I have like 2 days to get there. I'm currently at 3,925 subscribers on YouTube, and I'm really trying to fucking get there. That would be my goal. I do have a goal over on TikTok as well. I'm trying to get to 8,000 within a couple days. I think I'll get to my 8,000 goal by today though on TikTok. For YouTube, that's another beast. I gotta get those are crazy over there. Is $419 for a Canon EF 70 to 300 good price? It's off MPB. I think if that's what MPB is selling it for, then yeah, MPB is pretty fair. MPB is a fair broker, MK. Thoughts on the Fuji GFX lineup? I'm poor. I'm poor too. Hepatica. The GFX line is you should not be looking at the GFX line if you're poor. Jackson, thank you for the follow, Jackson. Appreciate you. Also, I've been doing portfolio reviews, free portfolio reviews over on YouTube. So that's another reason that you follow. I am probably going to be doing free portfolio reviews later on tonight. And the way that you get a free portfolio review, if you'd like me to take a look at your account, your website, anything that you're working on, like a video. Somebody sent me their video that they were working on the other day. That was over from Twitch, actually, which was kind of cool. I do that. In order for you to get it free, you got to be subscribed over to my YouTube channel because that's where I do them. So if you guys are interested in that, please consider following me over on YouTube. The way that you find it real quick is that you hit my profile picture and that'll take you to that'll take you to this page right here. And then you just hit the little YouTube icon and then you land on my page. Look at this. 3.92 subscribers. So close. So close. We'll get there. We'll get there, you guys. And if we don't get there, we're going to get fucking close, dude. We're going to get fucking close. Does the Fuji XE4 still? I don't know, actually. I don't know about that camera too much. How much is it? Is the Canon RF 55-2 lens a lens for wildlife? It has a variable aperture. Any lens with a variable aperture is kind of not ideal, dude. Not gonna lie. Variable aperture lenses are always bleh. Do you guys know, who in the chat knows what a variable aperture lens is? Who can answer that question? Pop quiz time. Oh, I have a YouTube thing going. Let me see. Oh, not that many votes, unfortunately. 4 votes. What camera are you using right now is the question over on YouTube. What camera are you using right now? 0% of you say smartphone. Okay. 25 say entry-level DSLR. 50 say mid-tier, and then 25 say high-end. But there's only 4 votes over there, so it doesn't really count. What about the OM3? I don't know what the OM3 is. Is that an Olympus camera? Tamron Sigma constant? Yes, I like the Sigma for sure. How about Canon R50? Love the Canon R50. Can you give a summary of how lenses work, the millimeter plus the f value? Not like in scientific terms. I mean, you can definitely Google that, but optics is super complex. This is why optics is like the physics behind it. That's why they're so expensive. They take a lot of research and development and a lot of science to like really come up with like a well-balanced lens. So the internals of a lens, like the moving parts, like that's why there's like STM, USM, and then there's another VCM. They're all different types of motors that are moving glass, especially in zoom ranges. Zoom lenses that need to like all work together. So they're pretty intricate. Again, I can't speak to it scientifically because I'm not a physicist or a scientist or a who studies optics. What kind of scientist studies optics? Let's find that out. What kind of scientist works on optics? I think it's a physicist. Scientists who work on optics, which is the study of manipulation of light, electromagnetic radiation, are generally known as optical scientists or optical. I'm not an optical engineer. Yeah. Optical physicist. So a physicist. Yeah. I knew they were physicists. The millimeter value and the f value. Actually, you know what? I do need to add, because I am doing like little brief little rundowns on sensors and stuff like that, that I could add a little visual lesson plan on the basics of like lenses. Because a lot of motherfuckers don't understand what the fuck's going on in a lens, like why they cost so much money. By the way, pro tip for you guys that are in here right now, if you are struggling with your camera quality and your camera images and your photos are turning out ass, chances are that you just need to upgrade your lens versus upgrading your camera body. One thing that people always do, I see all the time, is that people think that they need to upgrade to a newer camera body to get better quality images. And sometimes that's true, but not always. Oftentimes you can keep the same camera body, but drastically improve the quality of your image by just buying a higher end lens. So before you go out and buy another camera with a kit lens, and kit lenses are notoriously famous for being buns. Why is the variable lens not good for videography while you are able to zoom in and out of the subject? Variable lens, variable aperture, not a zoom lens. I wasn't talking about a zoom lens. I'm talking about a variable aperture, which is different. What's your workflow from capturing video content to going through it, adding B-roll and music? Ooh, that's a pretty good question, Steve. I would say, so I have a whole file system on my PC. So I grab the SD card. That's another, I should write that down actually. That's a YouTube video. Yeah, I'll make that into a YouTube video. But I have my own filing system in my like folder structure in my PC. Workflow for videos. I have my own folder structure in my PC, and what I do is, if I'm using a camera, I grab my camera and I'm recording something, either photos or video. I come home and I take the SD card and I upload it to my PC. But as I'm doing that, I'm creating a folder structure where I have a projects folder that's labeled with the project and the date. And that's the title of that folder. And then I grab some other root folders, and actually I can show you because I have it like kind of like right here. I don't know if you guys will see this. So I have on my desktop, I have two of these folders here. One of them is called camera dump template, and the other one is project folder. So I create a folder, I label it the project like street photography, and then I date it. I put a 6-digit date. So today would be like street photography 03 29 26. That's today's date. And then I copy this folder structure right here, video, audio, photos, assets. And I grab all these folders here and I put it into that folder. And then I come back and I grab camera dump templates and I grab the camera that was used that day. So if I used 1 or 2 cameras, I grab the R5 Mark II, the R7, and then I use the R50V. I grab these folders and then I move them into their respective, did I do photo or did I do video? And I put them all there. So that way I have one folder that has all of the assets that I created. And then I take that folder and import all of that into Premiere Pro. And now everything's neatly organized, nicely structured. And then there are some other steps there that I can get into the weeds about, but that's pretty much it. Brother, what up, brother? Brother. Yeah, adding B-roll, adding music and stuff like that. So I laid down, so when I have a video, I lay down my A-roll first. I do a whole A-roll and then I review it. And then I make my hard cuts there. And then I come back in with B-roll. But when I'm creating a video, I already have kind of the B-roll, the idea of what B-roll I'm doing. So I already have that in an assets folder or a video folder. And then I put that into, typically I use a different camera for B-roll. So like my A-roll will be like my C50 or my R5 Mark II or my R6 III. That'll be A-roll. And then with B-roll, like for this camera right here, this will be R50V. I know that my R50V captured all B-roll of whatever I'm talking about that day. And yeah. And then I do music last. And then I also do text on like graphics and stuff. I do that last as well. What tripod are you using? Right now I'm not using any, but all of the tripods that I recommend are on my Amazon storefront. If you're on TikTok, you guys can find my Amazon storefront by going to my profile page right here and hitting this link. And then I have a little Amazon button right here at the top. Just hit that. Then I have everything that I use right in here. Where do I have my tripods? Here we go. These are the tripods that I use. KNF Concept, Small Rig. Those are the main brands that I use. Vic, is the 7300L, is it an L series? If it's an L series, I think it's good. Non-L, I would be hesitant. Is the higher the number of the prime lens, how zoomed in it, or is it the opposite way? So a higher number, so like 300 is going to be like super zoomed in. 16 is going to be super wide. I have the 6100, which will be the upgrade FX30. Yeah, if you want to do video, yeah. It's similar to fashion modeling, but more focused on clothing products for e-commerce and catalogs, highlight garment. Yeah, I got it. I would do a full frame camera. So I would do something like the Canon R8. What's your budget, by the way? If you get a nice full frame camera, like an entry-level camera, full frame, you're gonna be set. I would buy something like this. I would look for it used. Something like the R8 and get a nice sensor with it, get a nice macro sensor, and you should be good. But I would be looking for a full frame for you, for sure. Just because you need a lot of, like, you want to capture the details of the stitching, you want to capture the details of the fabric, all of that kind of stuff. A full frame is going to capture all of that for you. And again, get a nice macro lens, like an 85 or a 35. That should be good for you. Mr. The Care, thank you for the follow. I have an A7 IV camera, but I still need one for backup. What version? A7 III or another? I would get another A7 IV. Or I'd get an A7 V and then use your A7 IV as a backup. FX30 or the A7 III? Depends on what you're doing, Cruz. Depends on what you're doing, bro. Do you put your Premiere Project file on your computer or do you put it on SSD? I have all of my Premiere Pro files on my PC, but I have M.2 drives on my like, I have plenty of space. For my work PC, which I do a lot of editing remotely, I do have an SSD that I carry around for that computer because it's a laptop and my laptop doesn't have as much space as my custom PC. But if you don't have a beefy desktop like I do, an SSD is definitely the way to go. I'm coming from a pretty old Nikon. By the way, guys, for you guys hanging out over on TikTok, if you haven't followed already on TikTok, please do so. Really appreciate the help. Same with YouTube. If you guys are chilling over on YouTube and haven't subscribed, please do so. Really appreciate it. Kick and Twitch, I don't know who you guys are over there, but I appreciate you guys watching. You guys are quiet. Rain, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Yemen, thank you for the follow. God bless you. Yaman says, I'm coming from a pretty old Nikon D31. I just got the Nikon Z. Nice. That's great, dude. Yeah, you did good. Do more video than photo? I do both. I do whatever pays the bills, really. I work full-time as a content creator, so I'm doing a lot of video. I'm also doing photo. So I do both photo and video. For like my, thank you for the follow, Black Pearl. Thank you for the follow. Mirrorless, appreciate that. Yeah, for my personal work, I do both, man. I do a lot of talking head videos for my YouTube channel. If you guys haven't seen my YouTube channel, I have on here 633 videos. My TikTok, I don't even know if it says how many videos I have. Does it say? I don't even know how many videos I have. 55 following. That's not right. I only follow one person. It's Canon, #1 brand. Yeah, I don't know how many videos I have. I have tons and tons of videos. So lots of photos. Whatever pays, man. Whatever pays. If I do more video, the FX30, yeah, hell yeah. The FX30 is a video camera, like a proper cinema camera. It's a little baby cinema camera, but it's a proper cinema camera. Fujifilm X106. I love that camera. I'm just a beginner. It's a great camera for a beginner. I was just showing it the other day. Yeah, I have that camera. X106. It took me, I bought this camera, paid in full, literally the minute that it came out. And I had to wait 9 months to get it. Maybe not the minute, like 5 minutes from when it came out. And I had to wait 9 months for it to come in. I'm guessing you mainly use PC, but to your knowledge, can you transfer files directly from camera to iPad? What you need is an SD card reader that has USB-C. And yeah, you can upload. You need the SD card, you need the SD reader, and you need the USB-C, and then you plug that into your iPad, and then you can transfer the files over. I don't recommend people transferring stuff over the cloud. It's like really a waste of time. Nikon Z52 with Nikkor euros instead of the 0 shutter count. What about it? Did you already buy the Z52? I would buy it, man. Thanks, Vic. You got it, man. Yeah, and I have the SD reader that I recommend, guys. I think I have them right here, actually. The ones that I use, where are they? Is it media storage? I think it's here. Nope, not here. I should put some in here, though. Camera bags and accessories, this one? Yeah, these are the ones that I recommend, that I use. I have one right here, actually. This guy. I have a couple of these. I have 2 of these exact ones. And this one comes with a USB-C plug connected to it. So you take your SD card, you plug it in like this, and then you plug this into your phone or to your iPad, and then it reads this SD card, and then you transfer your files. And then bada bing, bada boom. Again, I hear people when they say that, hey, I'm transferring over to the cloud and it sucks. I'm like, yeah, dude, you think about what you're doing. Like, of course it's gonna be slow. I don't know if you should get it, bro. If you can afford it, you should buy it, man. $500 is pretty reasonable to me. Yeah, it sounds pretty reasonable to me. If you can afford it, buy it, dude. What program would you suggest for editing raw files? I use Premiere Pro. Can you check the condition? I don't know if we'll get the same ones, man. Again, MPB is one of those sites, MK, that I trust. Because it has a return policy, it has customer service, they have professionals checking their gear. So I can't make that decision for you. You got to make that decision for yourself. Lightroom is good for beginners. Lightroom is great for everybody. Lightroom Classic. I use Lightroom Classic. I've never used Capture One. So there's that site. I took like 3 hours to transfer about 20 raw photos. Yeah, I don't know why people do that. Like, did you not have a SD card reader? Maybe that's the only reason why I would do that. But yeah, don't do that. Use a direct transfer like cable, like an SD card reader. That would have taken you like less than 4 minutes, like maybe even less than like a couple minutes for 20 photos. Yeah, dude, I transfer hundreds of photos at a time. Hundreds. I do have the SD reader card, but I couldn't find it. Yeah, dude, that's crazy. Tiago, do me a favor. Don't mention your age again. If you mention your age again, I will block you. Yeah, that's just wild. It says the lens doesn't have a Canon tripod ring mount C. That's the thing that like is on the lens that like sticks out at the bottom is what I would Google it to make sure, but it's the thing that like the little foot that you put the tripod mount on. So meaning that you'll have to, and actually that might be a bigger deal than I think, because that lens is probably pretty big. Yeah, I would see how much that costs, because that would be a pain in the ass if you can't put it on a tripod. I'm a beginner photographer. I have a used Canon 55D and I edit using Darktable. Okay, Tiago, thank you. Thank you for sharing that bit of information. What's your main favorite cam? My R5 Mark II. I've said to people have asked me like, if you had to start over, which one camera would you buy? Camera and lens, and I would buy the R5 Mark II with the 28-70 f2. Oh, the ring mount is like $20. Yeah, I would make sure that you get it from Canon though. Make sure you get one that is not a third party. Make sure you get the official one, because that would be like a really stupid way for your lens to like break. You know what I mean? R6 Mark II is what I want next. Get the R6 Mark III. Low with the locks. R6 Mark II is still fire. I have a question. C50 or FX3 for color grading? Ooh, I don't know. I'd have to, that would be more of a question on like what log footage do you prefer the most? And like, that's like that's more of a technical question. I don't do a lot of color grading, to be honest. I like the colors that come straight out of camera. I don't do, like this image right now is straight out of camera. All right, I'm not doing anything to it. Damn, the official, yeah, and it's worth it. It's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. Mark III, I'm gonna feel like Iron Man. You will be Iron Man, low with the locks. Check out the price difference of the Mark II versus the Mark III. If there's like a $500 to $700 price gap, it's totally worth it to get the newer model, even if it takes you a little bit longer to save up. The R6 Mark III, I bought it the day it came out. It's totally worth that price difference. I'm about to buy the FX3, but I'm scared it might get delivered and someone else steal the package. Well, make sure that you're available to accept the package, dude. Yeah. Also, things that are that expensive usually get sent out that require a signature upon delivery. I would be skeptical, MK, about anything third party with something like that, because it's a lot of glass, dude. Imagine this, dude. Like I have, so let me go get mine. Actually, I'll be right back. I'll go get. So imagine that you like are using this right here is I think what they're talking about. So imagine this is what's used to like put a little Arca Swiss base plate or your what is that other anyways, you put your little base plate here, and this is an official one from Canon. Imagine that you're using a third party brand that you don't know who the fuck they are, some Chinese brand, and you mount this on a tripod and you're moving it around and it snaps. And then all of that glass, not only is your camera fucked up, but your lens is also shattered, right? So I don't skimp out on shit that helps me like protect my camera, and like there are some things that you can cheap out on. Making sure that your shit doesn't break is not something that I like take lightly, because I make money with my cameras. So like if my camera's broken, that's a big deal. Sheesh, gonna pop a blood vessel from all that flexing. What are we talking about? Low with the locks. T7 is great for first camera. A T7 is not a great camera. I think T7s and the Rebel series cameras, the minimum that you need for a camera, in my opinion, is $700. If you can save up $700, you did it, kids. Anything less than that, I think, is a waste of time and money. And time and money is a very valuable resource. So I do not recommend anything less than that. And if you don't have the money for that, then save. Then wait, you know. You don't have to buy everything at once. Yeah, and the reason why these things exist, these feet, the reason why these feet exist is because if you mount the camera on the tripod, there might be a lot of weight on the front of the lens and it could break the lens mount. And you also don't want that. So that's at your own risk, right? Is Canon EF 100-400? Ooh, the USM lens are good. It is good. The L series, yeah. I think MK, I've answered that question for you, bro. You're starting to sound like Dan. With the two kit lenses, 15-75 and 75-300 is a steal. It is not a steal. It is a waste of time and money. Are we talking about the Rebel series cameras, dude? Do not buy the Rebel cameras, guys. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Yeah, anything L series is top notch, dude. You can rest assured that the L, anything that got branded with the L from Canon, same with like a G Master. Anything that says G Master, the red G on it, is you can rest assured that it's a solid choice. They don't put that on their less quality shit. You think it's a good upgrade going from an A7 III to an A7? Hell yeah, dude. A7 III to an A7 V is a solid upgrade. A7 IV to a 5 is kind of, unless you got the funds, I don't really think it's super necessary. Yeah, not incredibly super necessary. What would you recommend for beginners for just starting to get into an R50? A Canon R50. That's this camera right here. Where is it? Right here. X106. Josue. You still haven't decided, Josue? What specs does the A7 V have it that make it worth? It's the latest and greatest, dude. It's the latest and greatest. It has the latest autofocus. It has the dual SD card slot. I think it has a full size HDMI port on it. It also has the what is it? I think it has 4K 60 uncropped, 4K 120 cropped, which is kind of a bummer. But if you're in the Sony world and you want the best camera right now, it's the best like prosumer camera, mid-range, mid-tier. It's the A7 V, dude. What's a Hoya lens filter? Hoya, I think is I don't know. Hoya sounds like a brand. Lens filters are pretty important if you guys don't. Who in the chat uses filters? I use a lens filter almost on every single one of my cameras. This is a lens filter right here. This one that I'm using is a CP. What is this? A black mist and an ND filter. They're basically like sunglasses for your camera. Do I need a filter? Filters are good for every kind of photography, dude. Again, don't feel like you have to buy everything all at once, guys. I know that it may seem like it, but you know, think of like your gear acquisition that you're trying to acquire. Think of it like not in like a 1 month time span. Think of it of like years. You know, stretch out what you want to buy over the course of a single year, multiple years, and then make a plan to like to save up for this stuff. A year goes by pretty quick, dude. So what exactly do they do? The lens filter, they're sunglasses. So what do sunglasses do for your eyes? Would you take it over an FX3 for filmmaking? Take what over an FX3? No, I would take an FX3 for making films. What kind of lens do you recommend for the R50? Definitely, if you have low funds, I would try the kit lens for a little while and then figure out what you like. But if you have the money, I would buy the body only. I'd buy the body only. And then the first lens that I would buy is the 18-50, this guy. So I'd buy this lens. Actually, I have it right here. This is the Canon R100, probably one of the worst cameras next to the Rebel series cameras that Canon has ever made. But this is the 18-50 millimeter lens right here. And this is probably the lens that I would buy first. It's a constant f2.8. Small, it's compact, and it's really, really nice. It's a great starter lens. Really, really good. Highly recommend. Would you take an 8? I would not. No, if I want to make films, I'm getting an FX3. If I'm in the Sony world. We understand that FX3 is a cinema camera, right? Like the FX line, FX30, FX6, FX3, FX9, those are all cinema cameras. We know that, right? Surely we know it. We must. Not for filming. You said filmmaking. If you're trying to create content with it and photography, then I would get the A7 IV. You said filmmaking. Yeah, look at these cameras, dude. FX2 right here, FX3. Whoo-wee, 4,000. And you guys want to say that Sony's a better option. This shit's crazy expensive, dude. Look at this, FX6. Oh, dude, look at this. An FX6 fully rigged out. Oh, that's with the lens. I would buy this one right here. $7,000. Holy fuck, boys. Do you reckon I should get a Canon 7D Mark II for air shows? I'm not sure on the specs on the 7D. But just buy something and get started, man. Here's another observation is like we get into this thing of like overthinking things. You know, I can assure you that the first camera that you buy, I guarantee you, the first camera that you buy is not going to be the last camera that you buy. You're not going to go to the grave with this camera, right? So pick a camera that's within your budget. Pick a really nice lens. I would spend more money on a lens than a camera. And then just go out and use it. Just go out and use it. Because what happens when you're not doing this, you're not actively creating your content, or you're not taking photos, you're not creating films or content creation or doing anything like that. You start thinking of these problems that don't even exist. You're trying to solve for problems that you haven't encountered yet. So it's better just to pull the trigger on something, figure out what you can afford, and just start working on it. Just start working on it. And then when those problems do come up while you're actually doing the thing you're trying to do, then start solving for them. I see it all the time. I'm like, okay, what about this? Okay, what about this? Okay, what about this? Okay, what about this? And then months go by and you haven't done shit. Just do it. Just buy the best that you can afford, and then go for it. And then go for it, dude. That's it. There's not that, it's not that complex. I get it that it's a lot of money, because it is a lot of money. I get that. But you're trying to solve for issues that don't even exist just yet, you know? So thank you for the rose, appreciate it. So get out there and start shooting, dude. I actually am probably going to be doing some Lightroom edits right now, if you guys are cool with that. I'll still be answering questions, so feel free to shoot some questions my way. But let's open up Lightroom. And I got some edits that I was working on last night. And we'll just pick up where we left off. Let's go to develop. Filters off. You guys see that? Yeah, all right, cool. So where was I? I was past the... Yeah, check out this photo. I was working on this photo last night. I found this alleyway. Agree, zero connections. Too many people care about optimization. Nothing beats deliberate practice. Yeah, just going out there. And that's the one thing, zero connections, you spot on, bro. It's like we start imagining problems that don't exist yet. And this isn't, you know, unique. That thinking, that mindset isn't unique to just like creatives. It's people get about starting their business or like trying to prepare for a vacation. We start thinking of things that, trying to solve for things that don't exist just yet, you know? I'm like, just take action. Take action. Yeah, so I was in this alleyway yesterday or the other day, and I found this alleyway with all these pink cherry blossoms, and I was like, fuck, what a cool picture. There is another color grade that I wanted to try on this. It's called Bob Ross. The editing pack that I'm using is called Fro Pack. I'm sure that you guys have heard of it. Where was it? Bob Ross, I think, was at the top. There it is, Bob Ross. Look at this shit. This is a little intense. This is a little intense. I'll have to like mess with it a little bit to make it work. A little overexposed in the highlights right here. Oh, that actually looks really good with the sky. Yeah, so let's lower this, enter here, and then we can bring up the whole picture up a little bit. A little bright in the highlights. Let's bring the highlights down. Just a little bit. That should be fine. That's a little too wild. Not gonna lie. Where's the mask? Balance it out a little bit. I kind of like the first edit a little bit more. All right, where was I last night? I think I was... I think I was right here, actually. Yeah, this photo came out nice. It's a little bright up here. Balance that out just a little bit more. Not too much. That should be fine right there. This, I think, is where I stopped last night. Have you used? I do not use Capture One, just Lightroom. I've never ventured away from Lightroom Classic. Oh, this photo is kind of nice. Let's see if we can find something here. I remember photographing this woman. I usually don't take photos of the backs of people's heads, but this one kind of works. And then I wonder if I can delete this person over here. Use generative. Well, that'll probably explode my computer, actually. Nah, that looks like poo. I need to use AI for that. We'll do that later when I'm not live, because I'm worried that my computer will explode if I use AI on Lightroom. There was another photo over here that I thought was kind of okay. Let's see if this one works. Nope. Jesus, what the hell's that? No, that photo didn't work either. I thought I saw some cool light, but it didn't. I don't like it. There's not really anything interesting in the frame. And if there's no subject in the frame, then there's no photo. Don't love this framing as much. That one works a little better. There's nothing really in this, there's no subject in this really. We'll take it though. Always got to take photos of flowers. Always. I was using the R5 Mark II for this, and the 70 to 200. We'll do a 1x1 on this one. Yeah, that works. That works. I gotta remember to slow down on my editing. Slow down just a little bit. There's a little bit of like halation on this filter. Kind of makes the flower look a little trippy, not gonna lie. We'll take it. Encoding overloaded. There it goes. There it goes. So I'll pause on this. Gerald, what up, Gerald? How are you? Yeah, I'm gonna pause on this, guys. Control save. And I'll do this later because I need to figure out how to cast my Lightroom without casting my entire screen, because that's an issue. Because that is an issue. Good morning, Gerald. Good morning. Trying to do some editing. Last night I was doing some editing and it was like having the same kind of problem. What's going on is that OBS is trying to, it won't let me just cast the and took terrible pics. I loved it. You got the R6 Mark III, right? What lens do you have? Remind me. What a day I had yesterday and took terrible pics. It's funny, dude. I bet you they're not terrible, bro. That's how you get better, man. How long have you been photographing, by the way? Oh, that's the lens that I have, dude. 70-200, 2.8. Do you have the same one that I have, or do you have the Z? I'm brand new. Yeah, you just got to get out there every day, man. Rented? You rented that lens? That's a good lens to rent, not gonna lie. Yeah, that's a really good lens to rent. Yeah, that's a really good lens to rent for sure. 2 viewers on Kick. What up, Kick? How are you guys doing over there? Yeah, that's a good lens to rent. Rented it from Lens Rentals, but I'm gonna buy one. Yeah. Yeah, the 70-200 f2.8 is a pretty impressive lens. That'll start your Holy Trinity collection, you know, the 24-70. I always recommend people to I'll share when I call them. Yeah, man. Yeah, please do. Please do. I'm gonna be doing some reviews later on tonight. So make sure that you check back in. Gerald, if you're not following over on YouTube, please consider doing so. That's where I'm going to be doing the reviews. Won't be able to IHOP. Well, whenever you can. I'm going to be doing portfolio reviews a couple times a week moving forward. Actually, just for the next couple of days. Because I'm eventually, once I got this all squared away, I'm gonna be they won't be free anymore. It'll be a perk for subscribers. Nice. Got Martinsville NASCAR today. You going to it? You gonna photograph the event? That sounds sick. Yeah, that I'd want to photograph that. That sounds awesome. Yeah, that sounds really cool. Yeah, that sounds really good. All right, bet. Appreciate it, Gerald. Yeah, appreciate it. That's where I'm going to be doing the review. So anybody that wants to hang out and get their portfolio reviewed, they're going to be done over on YouTube. And then I'll figure out a way to get them onto it'll be multi-stream to Kick and Twitch, but I'll add something so that Kick and Twitch streamers can also participate. I do the pay sub to support you, bro. I appreciate it, man. There would be some more things than just the portfolio reviews, right? So the idea with that is that, like, if you're a paid subscriber, the way that I want to do it is that anytime that you see me live, you can ask for an on-the-spot portfolio review, and then if I ever create any kind of like courses or any kind of presets, that they would be free for paid members. So they'll be like, you know, that'll be the perk, you know, for something like that. Yeah, presets, free presets when I create them and stuff like that. But the big one that people really want is like the free, not the free, but the included review. Yeah, it would be dope. Also, the other thing that I'm going to be doing there is for that same tier of like all in one, I'll include free raw downloads. So there are some people that want to learn just how to edit but don't have access to like high-end cameras, and therefore they don't have access to like high-end raw photos. So I'll provide free raw photos that people can edit and practice on. And if I do like a live editing session, I'll do it on a collection of photos that will be available for them to download as well, that they can like kind of follow along. You know what I mean? I think there will be some value there. And then that'll tie into the presets that I have, right? So it's kind of like a whole little thing. And then I'll post those on YouTube. And then if people want to participate in that, they have to be channel members. You know what I mean? Like that'll be, yeah. And the value really, Gerald, in my opinion, is like the feedback. The one-on-one kind of like, hey, I'm looking at you, I'm looking at your stuff, I'm giving you this feedback directly for your exact situation. So I think it's a solid offer, you know. Yeah, pretty solid offer. So far what I've been doing is just kind of helping people make camera buying decisions, you know, which is cool too. I've been helping a lot of people, dude. Which is cool. Very cool, actually. It's pretty fulfilling, truthfully. Just get the fuck out there. Just go out there. You know, just get the camera, go out there and start practicing. All right, actually, you know what I could do? I can ask my GPT. Let's see. In OBS, I am. What I have to do is the hardest thing I kept forgetting, switching from cars to people or people to cars. Set it on auto, bro. Set it on auto. Remember, you have an R6 Mark III, dude. It's a really sophisticated camera. Also, depending on what you're doing, you can set your button controls to automatically switch for you. So you can set like your MFN button. Yeah, if you're switching constantly, make your MFN button up near the shutter, make that switch your subject. So like you can do it in 2 clicks, or you could probably do it in 1 click. So just set the MFN button to switch the focus priority. And I'm almost 100% certain that you could do. I've never needed to do that, but yeah, exactly right. Switch the big button. Yeah, I have my manual function button switching between focus area modes. like whole area focus, expanded area focus, single point focus. So like I switch between that a lot. Yeah, I switch between that a lot. But you can configure the camera is bro, you have one of the best cameras available on the market, man. You can literally do a lot of stuff with it. And we all kind of have our own little way of setting up our own camera. One thing that the thing that I do is I go to one of my favorite creators, Frono's Photo, and I set up my camera the way he has his setup. And then I like kind of iterate off of his configuration. And then I kind of make it my own. But I start with his setup as like a base. And there are probably other creators that do similar videos, but I find his to be pretty thorough, you know? Are you guys familiar with Frono's Photo? Frono's Photo. Personally, I want to continue to shoot manual to learn and not be frustrated with the process. Fro is the best. Yeah, I shoot most of I'm not going to lie to you, Gerald, I shoot most of my stuff in AV mode. Unless I need to do something specific, I don't really go into manual mode. When I'm in a control, like when I'm doing street photography, I'm usually in AV mode. Just because I'm kind of like just shooting, you know, just kind of like looking at stuff and shooting it. But we all have our own processes. I'll try that too. Yeah, AV for me is plenty. And I don't know if you saw some of the photos I was working with yesterday. They came out pretty decent. Pretty decent. Is use. All right, let me open up Lightroom to see if I can get this sorted. Yeah, the photos aren't gonna win any awards or anything like that, but that's not always the goal. You know, that's not always the goal. All right, so let me go to this one. Yeah, Lightroom. The Lightroom application is being viewed. What is that other window? Unless I am in the library tab, not the develop tab. Have a good one, Gerald. I'll catch you later, man. Get some good photos at that NASCAR event. The library tab. Not the development tab. I'll try. You got it, bro. Develop tab. Not general OBS. What's actually going on? OBS Classic, library module, CPU standard encoding. OBS can capture it. Develop module, GPU accelerating. OBS cannot hook into it properly. That gray box you're seeing is classic. Okay. Got it. Windows 10-bit? I think that'll do it. Let's find out. Aha! We got it. Yes. That worked. Cool. All right. I think that did it, boys. Save changes. Yes. So now library works and this works. Yes. Cool. So that is, oops, I need to switch this off here. I need to go to Lightroom. Yes, cool, got it. So now turn this off here. So I should delete this. Wait, I need to do the same thing over here. Capture, window capture, Lightroom. It's working. Cool. Lock this and then turn this off. So that's Lightroom. So I need to delete this here. Let's remove this. Yes. And then is this the Lightroom? Yes. Samsung main. Delete this. I'm a genius. Pretty proud of myself. Now we can test this out. Now let's test this out. I hope it works. I hope it actually did something. Because the issue that I was having, you guys, if you care to know, is that I was trying to show Lightroom, but I have a lot of things going on my screen right now that, like, my computer, it's a lot of shit that's going on. I'm casting to 4 different websites, going live to 4 different websites, running OBS Studio, TikTok Live Studio, and I'm editing, and I have these fancy ass cameras that it was overloading my my stuff. But instead of using a screen capture, which is capturing my entire window, which is it requires a lot of resources, what I wanted to capture was just the Lightroom application and not the entire window source, because I was noticing that I was getting a better performance doing that, but it wasn't capturing the development tab. It was only capturing the library tab. But now I can switch over to develop and it's capturing it. Before it wasn't doing this, which was a problem. But now let's test it. Now let's see if this will work. How are we doing on YouTube? We got 1 viewer on YouTube. All right. 2 viewers on Kick. What up, Kick? And 1 viewer on Twitch. 3 on TikTok. What's going on, TikTok world? What are you guys up to, by the way? Me, I'm over here talking to myself, trying to figure this thing out. But now that we got this sorted, I'm going to see if I can put this test this out. By the way, if you guys are brand new here, the way that I captured these photos is with an R5 Mark II and a 70-200, but I live streamed this photo session on TikTok. I live streamed it, and you guys get to watch me talk through the process. A little too yellow, a little too blue. I don't love these photos. So that one didn't work. And yeah, we go out, we do some street photography for a couple of hours. And you guys get like a BTS of what shit looks like. Blues Clues, Brooklyn. I like C41, not gonna lie. High C. High C is fine. This, I was just trying to capture light here, not really doing anything crazy. That's fine there. Not gonna win any awards, but that's okay. What happens after this? I think I leave this alley and then I start making my way down to a dog park. Dog! Did I get him in focus in a shot? Let's see. Nope, not there. Is he in focus here? Nope, he was moving too fast. And my shutter speed is not. He looks like a happy dog though. Ooh, the sun came out. Let's see, did that one work? Copper tone. A little too exposed. Saltwater taffy. That's fine. Don't love that photo. Oh, this one's nice. This one is nice. I might do another photo out of this one. The brick wall makes it a little bit too orange. Maybe if we can cool it down a little bit. Maybe right there. Let's do a virtual copy. I'm keeping an eye on my bit rate to see if my bit rate is affected. Because there might be another frame here where it's just the doggo. Just like a portrait of a dog. This might work better. Maybe the other way. We'll take it. We'll take it. We got some guys playing basketball. Let's see if we got any good shots here. I finally made it to this dog park. I didn't spend too much on the basketball court. Too much time on the basketball court. No, my shutter speed is not too. Why has this guy got his pants rolled like this? It's kind of weird. This dude's got like low-rise pants on. Yeah, nothing really too much on this basketball court. Nothing too interesting, at least. He's like, he fouled me. He fouled me. This is that dog park. There was nothing really too much here. Nothing too crazy. Next time I'll go into this dog park and set up a tripod. That's what I'll do. Because these top-down shots looking downwards, they never turn out. They never turn out. So I didn't spend too much time there. Oh, here's the city. Let's see, C41. C41 looks cool. Let's turn it down a little bit. Not bad, not bad. We'll take that. Let's see if we got any other photos here. This is all the same photo, I think. Switched it up. Here we go. Let's cut this person out of it. Boom. Yeah, that'll be fine. That'll be fine right there. Add a little bit. Lower the exposure down here just a smidge. We can do no grain as well. What is that? Is that C41 no grain? Yeah. No grain looks nice too. We'll take that. Copy. Okay, so far so good on my my bit rate. Bit rate's not dropping, so that's good. YouTube, what's going on YouTube? Anybody over here? One person on YouTube. Don't be so shy. Say hello. 2 on Kick. All right, Kick. And 1 on Twitch. We're getting there. We're getting there, boys and girls. What else did I do here? I went down and then I went back up. So over here, there wasn't really too much going on. I saw some cool dogs, but I wasn't really looking for more dog pics on this day. I was looking for like attractive people this day, not really dogs. We found a couple. Yeah, and the people need to be looking at the lens, looking at the camera. This guy was flying a drone, actually. Let me see his setup. Yeah, he was flying some sort of drone. That looks like the Avata, the action drone or whatever it's called. The POV drone. Yeah, that's what that looks like right there. Mm-hmm. Oh, here's another city one. Cool. It's too crooked. Let's bring this in a little bit. That's fine. Move it up just a smidge. That's good. Let's add a little bit of dimension here. That'll do. Ducks. Again, these are another one of those shots where these shots, they usually don't work because there's too much water in the frame. So maybe there's a frame in here somewhere, but I doubt it. Yeah, I'm not really loving this frame too much. Yeah, I don't really love this frame. We'll see if we can find something here. If this bird was pointing this way a little bit more, maybe. But overall, it's not a very interesting photo. Yeah, don't really love this photo too much. Water looks all shitty. Oh yeah, we got this person right here. What is she shooting on? What is that, guys? What camera do you see there? Is that a Canon? It kind of looks like a Canon, doesn't it? That's a Sigma lens. Look at her. She has her tongue sticking out. And she's shooting her friend over here all dressed up. The city's full. Look at her shoes. The city's full of characters, man. Those are some cool shoes. I didn't see them while I was down there. If not, I would have asked them for a photo together. I wouldn't have taken her shot or anything like that, but I would have gotten her and her together for a frame. What else was after this? I think I started to wrap up after I started. Oh, there was a car. There was a BMW that had some cool colors on it, and then that was pretty much it. Oh, there was this. I wonder if there's anything here. No, not really too interesting. Let's turn this down a bit. Yeah, nothing crazy interesting here. See if we can find a frame. Not really. Yeah, nothing really here. It's kind of a boring shot. Again, those top-down shots. Not always the best. Yeah, definitely don't like that frame. And then I tried this shot with more people. But it wasn't working. Oh, here's the car. Gotham looks kind of cool. It's a little too orange. Let's see. This looks kind of nice. Let's bring down the highlights a little bit. The car is just dirty. They tried to fit 5 people in this car. Yeah, car is just dirty as shit. That looks fine. I wish the car was clean. That's about it. Yeah, we'll take that. We'll take that frame though. That kind of works. So after this car, I don't think there was much else that I did except a couple more. Control copy. That was pretty much it. I was pretty happy with this little shoot though, because I did see some good people. Shots by Hunter, what up, buddy? Cameron 70 to 180. Yeah, bro. I feel like you've asked that question before, man. Buy the lens. Do it. This car had like dual tone pearlescent. I forget what it's called. I'm debating hard. Make a decision, bro. Make a decision. Make a decision. You're going through decision fatigue right now. Just make it. If you can afford a nicer lens, buy the nicer lens. If the 70 to 180 Tamron is all you can afford, buy it. I can assure you, Shots by Hunter, not going to be the last lens that you buy, bro. Ooh, a dog. Let's see. Do we have a good shot with his owner? I think that was the best one. The dog's not looking at me though, so. Are you saying buy the... If you can afford the G Master, fuck yeah, buy the G Master. That's an easy one, bro. I wish this dog was looking at me, damn it. The guy's looking at me. The dog isn't. Yes, I am saying buy the G Master. Hello. Hello, Shots by Hunter. Good morning, sir. Yeah, dude. If you can afford the G Master, that's the one you want. Okay, so far I'm happy with this little thing. Need to upgrade body too then? No. No, man, the lens is always going to be better than the body in terms of upgrading priority. You know, in terms of upgrading priority, I would be buying the lens first. Good morning, bro. Ellie Bay, how are you? How are you? Good morning. Good morning. Hey, homie, I can. Oh, somebody just came in here with the same comment. Almost the exact same comment, actually, too. Wiz Kiddo. Wiz Kiddo. Is that like a popular thing that you guys do over on Kick? Is try to get people to your Discord? I'm brand new to Kick, so it seems like if you copied somebody, and it was the exact same text, too. Like the exact same text. Are you guys robots? I bet you guys are robots. Yeah, same numbers too. Oh no, the numbers are different. Somebody promised me 1,000 followers and 800 viewers. You're saying 800 followers and 500 viewers. So which one do you think is a better deal, Wiz Kiddo? Oh, and Twitch has an auto mod. Okay, cool. Cool. Cool loop, Lightroom, Master Lab chat. All right. We're fine here. Memory 41, 22. Stream manager. Live is excellent. Kick is excellent as well. I'm just making sure that all my streams are on point. ZVE 10 with a 70 to 200 G Master, good combo. Yeah, dude. Yours is gonna be a you're gonna upgrade your camera way later. Start saving up. You know, you guys, all of you guys forget, like, you don't need to buy everything all at once, man. That ZVE 10 II is not going to be the last camera that you ever buy. You know what I mean? Oh, nice. Look at this. We got a portrait of the dog here. Woohoo! Look at this. Dog portrait. He's not totally in focus, but that's okay. I think this portrait works. Sometimes when you guys are like going through decision fatigue, it reminds me of like when I was in high school and I thought that something was like the end of the world, like the world's biggest decision. It's like, oh man, if I don't pick the right college, then my life is ruined forever. Or if I don't take the right classes, then I'm never going to get into the college that I want. You know, it's like that shit only matters for like a small part of your life, dude. Just make a decision and go for it. I would say don't do drugs. Never do drugs. But, you know, for the most part, your decisions aren't going to be, you know, you're not going to be baked into them for forever. Unless you have like, you know, teen pregnancy. That's a pretty long, lifelong decision. But you know what I mean? In terms of your camera, like it's not going to be, or a lens decision, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah. Yeah, I like this photo. I like this. Is this the Shiba Inu dog? Kind of looks like it, right? The Doge dog. I did get him in better focus here. No, not really. This dog didn't care about me. Yeah, they fit like 4 huge motherfuckers in this car. Like they were like some big ass men. Yeah, everything's good. Cool. Almost done with this session here. Oh, he turned on the lights. The car is still kind of super dirty. This is the building that I work in, guys. By the way. That's where my job is. My office looks the other way, towards the east. My Sony ZV-E10 came in today with the Sure. Woo-wee! What up, MK? Welcome back, buddy. Congratulations, dude. Which Sony did you get? The ZV-E10 or the 10 II? Regardless of what you got, man, congratulations. I think you're going to love that lens. I prefer the 23, but the 33 is nice too. I'm actually using the 23 right now. It's an f1.2, bro. Editing is going good, bro. I'm almost done, actually. I gotta go get some breakfast after this. Editing is going good. Almost done with this set. I figured out what was the issue with my OBS, so we got that figured out. Oh, I remember this photo. Let's do Blues Clues. I think there was a Blues Clues up here somewhere. Where was it? Oh no, Bob Ross. Here it is. Yeah, this actually turned out nice. Let's see. Right there is fine? I think so. What projects are you working on? This is just some street photos, Ash. Nothing too crazy. I'm actually about done here. If you guys want to stick around, you'll see the whole collection here in a little bit. I think a couple of them came out nice. I saw some pretty attractive people. And they definitely turned out nice. You know, when I go out to do like street photos, I try to get as many portraits of people as possible. And I got a couple solid ones. What do you think of aviation photography, Vic? I like military planes. That's about it in terms of aviation stuff. Military planes, jet fighters. Those are pretty cool. Air shows and stuff. But not like commercial airliners. Yeah, commercial jets to me are kind of not as interesting personally. So I like fighter jets, air shows and stuff like that, but I don't really find myself photographing planes. I like air shows. I do have some photographs of planes and helicopters, but they're actually like overhead, like I'm not at a airport or anything. Yeah, I get it, bro. I get it. for air shows and for like, there's a lot of people in my, like, if on my For You page, I'm on a lot of For You pages of people that are like aviation photographers, like a lot of them, a lot of sports photographers too, a lot of sports photographers. For some reason my content got sent out to them, but that's okay, you know. Aviation photographers need cameras and lens recommendations too. Do you work with models and actors? Models, yes. Never really worked with actors. Maybe some of the models are actors as well. But I've definitely worked with models. Ash, you can check out my portfolio and some of the stuff that I've done on my website and my link in bio. On YouTube, you can find it in the on my page. On my the link in bio is on my page. You can find my Instagram, my Facebook, my website, all that stuff there. Do you think aviation photography is hard? Nah, not really. Not particularly. I don't want to say it's easy. No disrespect to aviation photographers, but it's not something that really interests me. I think it would be difficult for me because I don't have a piquing interest in it, you know? Oh, this photo came out nice. Yeah, let's do this one. But Ash, what I'm doing here is just a street photo, so there's nothing really too exciting here. And when I'm editing this photo, like I'm looking for the best composition, and I'm noticing that up here in this corner, this sign, if I lower this, it kind of cuts off that sign a little bit. And I'd like the sign to have some space. And then this person's foot over here, I'd like to give him some space as well. And then I'll probably settle on this and then add a little bit of a linear, what's it called? A linear mask here. What amount of face body Photoshop is ethically right? I don't really think any kind of Photoshop is ethically wrong. I don't think there's no ethics involved in whatever your art style is. I don't think ethics has anything to do with Photoshop, really. At least I don't perceive it that way. Brother. Only a couple more photos. I think this was the last photos that I was taking here. Julia, only if you're weird about how you edit, maybe. I mean, I guess the question is like, in terms of like commercial editing, you know, for like products, like if you are somebody that you're a brand that is like photoshopping already skinny women to look skinnier and then marketing a product that, hey, if you take this product, you'll look like this person, and that person has been heavily photoshopped. That's kind of different, you know, but I don't really see like an ethical conundrum with that, you know what I mean? That's just marketing, and like, is it false advertising? Yeah, maybe, but I don't really see like an ethical conundrum against that. I mean, like, people portray fake personas on Insta, a lot of airbrushed images. You can't recognize them in real life. Yeah, there is that, but again, I don't think that that's like an ethical conundrum. You know, I don't really think. I can tell you that, like, for example, I can tell you, actually, if you stick around, I'll show you a photo that I did, was considering photoshopping, but not photoshopping, but editing. But I'll show you the kind of edits that I do. But they're always favorable towards the person. So if we go to my library here, I did just edit a bunch of photos. And actually, Julie, I just finished this edit. So if you want to hang around, you get to see the final products. Rated. Yeah, here we go. So right here, actually right at the front, there is this person right here that she had, oh no, this person back here has clearly, he has some sort of injury right here on his forehead. And like, I decided not to edit that out. You know what I mean? This guy has some like imperfections on his face, but I decided not to edit that out. You know, I could, if I had more focus on this guy, I could edit that like impact that on his head, but I wouldn't. This couple right here, like if this woman had like a pimple right on her forehead, I would take that out. You know what I mean? This is a cool couple. I need to send them their photos today, actually. This guy right here, I didn't do much editing on. I didn't do anything on his face because he already kind of looks like Jesus. You know what I mean? But if I wanted to, I could clean up these like moles right here, these freckles, or this little skin irritation that he has right here. I could clean that up, but you know, this guy already looks, you know, I don't do a lot of editing on men. Women, I will clean up some women's stuff. Women's skins, but airbrushing and stuff like that, it's a style of photography. You know, I don't really get all upset or righteous. It's unethical. There's other things to worry about. This guy, you know. So on this photo walk, what I was really trying to do is grab people's portraits, just like a day in the life, kind of like a city life every day, because it was such a beautiful day. But my goal was to get as many people looking at me as possible. And it only worked a couple of times. Like I was really trying to get this guy's attention, but he wasn't looking my way at all. It's bad when they look different in person. Yeah, I don't really think so, Ash. And that's okay for you to have that opinion. I just don't share it, you know? I don't really see like women might, maybe if you're, you know, you're sensitive to that kind of stuff, or like it's, you know, if you want to talk about society, making think that all women are beautiful, like that's definitely not me. That's definitely not me. Like that kind of stuff doesn't bother me. Here are my favorite sets. This pink area, this cherry blossom area from the city. I like these photos a lot. Here's the Bob Ross one, Julia. This one looks a little bit too crazy, not gonna lie. But these people, it looks like they're chatting with this person up here. And I opened up the sky a little bit. I added some clouds up here. Some floofy little clouds. I think it's a little much. I think I like the natural edit a little bit better. I use airbrush on my profile pics. I don't use any airbrush at all. But if you do, that's totally cool. It's different for women, you know. On women that I'm photographing, like if you look at some of the stuff that I do, I will remove imperfections, blemishes and stuff like that, but definitely don't do any airbrushing. It's just not the kind of edits that I do. Also, I try to select models. If I get a chance to select models, I try to select models that have like the fairest skins, you know, just because it's my photo. I get to choose, right? Are my comments showing? I accidentally left the live. I can see your comments, MK. Oh, I like this one a lot too. I'll probably delete this person right here, just to leave her in the shot alone. I did also like this photo as well with this couple right here. I wish they were facing me though, but it's okay. I know to come back to this alleyway though. Yeah, again, I try my best not to photograph the backs of people's heads, but sometimes you just can't avoid it. How you find these beautiful, just walking around. Look at this one, Julia. Yeah, this is just street photos, Ash. Just street photos. So just walking around the city. And just taking pictures. I go live during these photo walks, so like people can join in on the actual photo walk. I talk through my process, you know. Look at this dog. He's a cool looking dog. Not totally in focus, but that's okay. Look at his tail. Yeah, this is the building that I work in, by the way. My office is on the other side of this. It's on the opposite side. Got a fluffy dog here. And then this was the last photos that I was taking with this. I work pretty high up. Yeah, and then this is the last photo right here. I might be able to do something right here and have this be like a wallpaper, actually. I can clean that up. Just this part right here. But yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. All right, I'm heading out. I got to go get some breakfast. I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you're not following or subscribed on YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, please consider doing so. I'm going to be live later on tonight doing free portfolio reviews. So if you'd like me to check out your portfolio for free, make sure to subscribe over on YouTube. That's where I'm going to be doing it. Have a good one. I'm about to go have some breakfast, y'all. Adios. Ba, da, 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 ba, da.